With Marcia. I'm Representative Marcia Judkins, representing House District 61 in Utah, and I wanted to tell you a little bit about the interim meetings that we had this past week. In my last episode, I said that I was going to be able to present a bill to my Revenue and Taxation Committee that had to do with the earned income tax credit, but I wasn't able to do that because we ran out of time. But we did have a really interesting discussion that I thought I would share here about revenue bonds. And they started, special districts can do revenue bonds like cities or counties or school districts, things like that. And it started back when there was a jail, and I can't remember which county it was in Utah, that really, really needed repair. And so the county said, let's do a bond so that we can rebuild this jail. And the citizens didn't want to do it, and the bond failed several times, but the jail still needed to be rebuilt. It was a health and safety hazard to these inmates, but the residents of the county said, we're not raising our taxes to build this jail. So what the county did was they took out revenue bonds, and revenue bonds are at a higher interest rate than if you did a regular bond through an election. So they're at a higher interest rate, but the entity that took out the revenue bonds can't raise taxes to pay for them. What they need to do is find money within their budget that they already have to make the payments on that. So it's kind of like, I guess, a mortgage, right? Where you can't really afford it to pay the whole thing, but you can afford payments on it. And so school districts also use revenue bonds, and that was what was at question, is should we allow school districts to use revenue bonds or not? The only way that school districts have to raise money for capital needs, if they need to build new schools because of overcrowding, or if they need to rebuild schools because of seismic or safety concerns, is to take out a bond in some way. And the normal way that we've seen often is that they take it to the public and have them approve of that bond. But if the public refuses to approve that bond and those schools still need to be rebuilt or built to alleviate the overcrowding, then this gives the district an option to take out revenue bonds and then just make payments on those bonds. The arguments against doing this is that the public doesn't have as much of a say then in what's going on in the district. But what I think is really important is that sometimes you're going to have a situation where the general public doesn't want to raise money necessarily, raise their taxes to build a school in a place where maybe they don't live. But that school still needs to be built for the benefit of those students there. And this gives that option to school districts. And they're still under the constraints of truth in taxation. They still have a completely open budgeting process that anyone can ask about. And so, I don't know, it was a really interesting conversation. And I hope you found it interesting too. And I'll see you next Monday.